They called Social Security socialism. They called Medicare socialism.
During a House Rules Committee hearing on Biden's spending bill, Democratic Representative Jamie Raskin broke down Republican propaganda over socialism and which states are the top performers. So this is a clip that is wonderful to watch.
If you look at life expectancy, 9 of the top 10 states in life expectancy are blue states with higher taxes. 1 is red. The states with the lowest infant mortality rates are blue states. The states with the highest household food security are blue states. The lowest are the red states. Divorce rates, high school graduation, you name it. And I've got to make a point, which I hope doesn't sound too partisan, but I guess it's slightly partisan, that anytime that we've had a major advance in terms of public programs to serve the American people, the party I belong to has championed it. The party that is railing about socialism today has called it socialism. They called Social Security socialism. They called Medicare socialism. They called Medicaid socialism. They called the Affordable Care Act socialism, and on and on. And now I see there are Republicans who say, don't invest in free preschool for all 3- and 4-year-old American children because it might hurt Medicare, a program they had denounced as socialist before. Don't support this socialist program of universal pre-K because it's going to hurt another program that we used to denounce as socialist. So what's a socialist program? It's a program that the GOP opposes today, but will be defending tomorrow against our next expansion of the quality of life for the American people.
Now, there's been a lot of discussion, for good reason, on the infighting within the Democratic Party over this budget bill, it's not even infighting. You have the vast majority of Democratic lawmakers in support of the budget bill, 2 senators against it that are largely bought by corporations, but then again, so is a lot of the Democratic Party. But still, it's really been a fight of 2 versus the entire party. Yet there's been very little discussion, especially from mainstream press, about how every single Republican lawmaker is against paid family leave, against expanding Medicare, against raising taxes on the wealthy and large corporations. Like, it's amazing the way that Republicans are able to skate by because people just don't expect anything from them. But in the process of of that happening, you have Republicans gaining power, winning elections, because all the focus is on how the Democratic Party can't get anything passed. Well, yeah, they can't get anything passed, partially because there's one party that is completely against anything they want to do. Except when it comes to, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which is largely a corporate giveaway. So you're going to do a corporate giveaway, you're going to get them on board. 19 Republican senators on board with that bill shows you how terrible it is, which is why you need the budget bill to pass to actually help people. But Jamie Raskin here breaking down, first the fact that Democratic states perform better, they tax more, and with that, they also perform better. That said, of course, you have to acknowledge that there are still many problems in those Democratic states. Places like New York, California deal with serious homelessness. But that is the failure not of progressive policy, but of corporate Democrat policy. People like Gavin Newsom are painted as progressive when really there's corporate Democrats. So until you have some actual progressive people in power in these states, you can't really judge them or judge progressive policy and its success or not. But the idea that this is the best part and the majority of that clip, the fact that Republicans call everything socialism. It's important to point this out when fighting back against their fear-mongering rhetoric, because everything popular in the U.S. right now was once called socialism by the GOP. So a little more here from Think Progress. The socialism smear shaped the modern GOP. The idea built its coalition, defined many of its objections to the Democratic alternative, and helped form the partisan divide that is so familiar today. The socialism smear targeted the New Deal. It was Ronald Reagan's weapon against Medicare, Newt Gingrich's weapon against Hillary Care, and the entire GOP's weapon against Obamacare. And no matter what policies the next Democratic presidential nominee supports in 2020, that nominee will be labeled a socialist. So this is an article from back in 2019. And of course, think progress was exactly right. Back during the election, Trump calls Biden Trojan horse for socialism in fiery speech ahead of Democratic convention, trying to paint Joe Biden as a socialist. This is what they do with everything. It's like when you see this level of dishonesty over these many decades, doesn't that clue the average voter into what is going on here? That they are just completely full of shit. They complain about Social Security, Medicare, these incredibly popular programs as being socialist. Maybe socialist programs are actually fantastic. Maybe you should do more of them. Maybe expanding Medicare, just the bare minimum, is a great idea that most people want to do. And the reality is, looking at polling, most people do want progressive policy. But until the Democratic Party actually fights for those things, as opposed to just being on defense all the time, you're not going to see any real progress made in terms of the party actually being able to hold on to power. You're going to see this back and forth every election until the Democratic Party leadership actually stands up and commits to fighting for these very popular policies that are thrown away and called socialist by the right wing. I was going to mention there, but whatever. Jamie Raskin. I see some potential in his future in terms of, he's the kind of guy that I think has the potential to kind of bring these two sides together within the party. He is a solid progressive, supports these progressive policies, but is able to kind of ride the line there with both sides of the party. And he's a great orator. He's a solid leader. I think he has some real potential in the party, and who knows? For the next 4 or 8 years, what may happen.